you all play in a number of different areas, a number of other types of things that are training types of certifications. So can you talk a little bit more about the other things that you all are involved with?
Sure, be happy to. So when we look at certifications and designations, here what we're talking about is taking a deeper dive into specific aspects of financial services. So for example, if we were to talk about the CPA or enrolled agent credentials, those are for individuals that are focused on primarily tax planning. Maybe you're working for an accounting firm, or you're a financial advisor that specializes in tax planning. In that case, you may be interested in the enrolled agent credential. And so as an enrolled agent, you can represent clients in front of the IRS. Other designations that we offer include financial risk management, the FRM. The banking industry requires anti-money laundering training. So we do that type of training. And then we also have CFA training as well for candidates that are doing a deeper dive into just investments and potentially managing a portfolio or an investments for an individual or family. And then you've got the CFP credential, which is kind of really covers all those areas that we talked about from a personal financial planning perspective. Everything from managing an individual's risk on using insurance to investments, tax planning, retirement plans for small businesses, and estate planning. So really comprehensive financial training depending upon which path you're taking within the financial services industry.
Yeah, well, my sense from talking to people is the market for CFPs is enormous right now, because everyone wants someone to talk to about their overall financial situation. Everyone. And so that's sort of the textbook definition of the CFP career. I mean, that's what these folks do. And so this is a big deal. The training is very broad. There are a number of components to it. Takes quite a while to get through all the CFP material. But once someone has a CFP, I mean, you're able to do anything from retirement planning to estate planning to talking about budgeting to talk about insurance, just basically anything related to the overall financial well-being of the client. So, I mean, are you seeing that trend, the demand for those jobs, like I'm seeing?
We really are. And so what's been interesting is if we were to look back over the past 10, 15 years, even longer, 20 years, CFP has been viewed by the firms as, well, if we have employees that want this certification, we'll support them, we'll reimburse them for going through the education and the costs associated with that process. But now what you're seeing is there have been so many studies done that show those advisors that hold the CFP credential, they're more productive for the firm. As a matter of fact, they generate about 30% more in revenue for the firm than the non-CFPs do. And so the firms are saying, hey, these folks are more productive. We should encourage it. And so now more firms are requiring certain groups within their company to become CFPs. Or they're requiring, if there's a team of advisors in a branch, one of the members of that team needs to be a CFP. And so the firms are really getting behind pushing CFP and beginning to require it. But why are CFPs more productive than non-CFPs?
That was exactly what I was about to ask you.
that is the question, and it's for a few reasons. One is because, as you mentioned, Eric, CFPs cover a broad range of topics for an individual, and we've both mentioned what those are already. And so you're becoming more sticky with a client because you're helping over a broader range of topics, as opposed to just an advisor working on with a client on investments. If your
Okay.
only connection with the client is investments, and we go through a bear market or a severe decline, and clients are panicking and selling, you're going to lose that business. You're going to lose that relationship. So it's really a way to diversify your business or your workings with a client by becoming a CFP and touching all these different areas with them. And then the other thing I would say is CFPs are really help a client reach the goals that they have. It's a very rewarding career when you see your clients begin to reach their goals. But the goals are typically, I want to save for my children's education, or I want to buy a house, or I want to retire, I want to start a small business. So these big financial goals, you're working with clients for years and many years, and it's not just a transactional relationship. And so you've got these sticky relationships, you're working with them long periods of time. That's why you're more productive with the firm as opposed to a transactional relationship.
Gotcha. Well, what about and I imagine the establishment of the role of fiduciary is probably a big deal too, in terms of developing client confidence and all of that. Is you think that plays a role as well?
I think it does. I think the industry needs to do a better job of promoting that. And so, just kind of explain for your audience the difference. So, in order to sell a stock, bond, mutual fund, whatever it is, an advisor has to determine, is this suitable for my client based upon, say, a risk tolerance questionnaire. A fiduciary, which is what the CFP credential requires or certification requires, a fiduciary has to act in the best interest of the client. And so you have to make recommendations to the client and put their interest ahead of your own at all times. Now, let's use a real life example. Let's say as a CFP, you've determined that an annuity would be the best, an appropriate recommendation for your client. Well, you can't, if you're a fiduciary, you can't recommend the annuity that pays you the highest commission. Instead, you might recommend, or you need an annuity, but here are 2 or 3 different annuities to choose from, and here are the advantages and disadvantages to each one of those annuities. And they each have different costs associated with them. And then after presenting the client with those advantages and disadvantages, the client makes a decision which product they're most comfortable with. That's the one that you would implement for the client. That's what the fiduciary standard means.
So in other words, the CFP is legally required to act in the best interest of the client. And
Absolutely.
that's a big deal. I mean, everything operates on trust, right? And so that's a really big deal. Okay, so we're almost out of time here. So, but I have to mention the exciting news that came out actually this week about a partnership between the University of Tennessee and one of your subsidiary companies, Dalton Education. And so I know that people who want to get a CFP are required to go through something like 21, the equivalent of 21 college hours or something like that of education courses before even taking the test. So we're talking about like a year worth of schooling. And so Dalton has developed a curriculum, and Dalton partners with various institutions. And my understanding is you're only going to partner with one institution in the state of Tennessee. And so so the partnership as of this week is between Dalton and the University of Tennessee. And so now people who are in their careers, early in their careers even, who are wanting to sit for the CFP, they can now get all of their training through this partnership between Dalton and the University of Tennessee. So super excited about that.
Yeah, we're excited about the partnership as well. What a great reputation UT has throughout the state of Tennessee. We're excited to work with UT, and what I would say about students that are considering financial planning as a career and potentially CFP, um, we have worked with thousands and thousands of folks that have gone through CFP education. And believe it or not, what we have found is that recent college graduates complete the education program faster and get better grades than those that have been in the industry for 5, 10, 15 years or more. And the biggest difference that we've identified is those recent college graduates, they know how to study and they know how to balance what's going on in their life with carving out time and maintaining a regimented schedule of these are my study times and this is when I complete my work. And so I think recent college graduates are at an advantage over those that have been in the industry for a long time. Those folks that have been in the industry for a long time have their own way of doing business, either their own way or their firm's way, which might differ a little bit from, say, the academic nature of the CFP exam. And those that are experienced may say, I wouldn't do it that way. But those that have graduated recently, they've got an open mind. They know how to study. They're very successful going through the education program.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, lots of exciting opportunities. And so this is really just the beginning of our relationship. I've really enjoyed getting to know you as we've started to get things set up. And I'm really excited for what the future holds with us.
Well, we are too, Eric. So thank you for having me on your podcast. This was great. And feel free to put up my email address if students have any questions. They're more than welcome to reach out to me.
I will. All right. Well, it's nice talking to you today, Joe.